Well, folks, you know why I'm here. It's ranting time again. Now, most of the time when I review movies, I give them positive reviews. But then there are some of them that just suck. This film today is one of them. Batman and Robin, 1997. Starring George Clooney, Chris O'Donnell, Alicia Silverstone, Uma Thurman, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, directed by Joel Schumacher. Now, how this film got made is really beyond me. So it all started in 1992, Batman Returns. It hit theaters. The critics well received it, but it did not perform as much as Batman 1989. It made like $150 million less. And Warner Brothers was also upset by it. Now, the key catalyst in the Schumacher movies, McDonald's, one of the sponsors of Warner Brothers, thought that Batman Returns was too dark. Too dark. It needed to be toned down. They thought that Batman Returns was not family friendly. And if Tim Burton was to continue to remain as director, they would pull their Happy Meal toys from Warner Brothers. The sponsors would pull their plug-in deals. And Warner Brothers did not want that. They did not want to lose the McDonald's Happy Meal toy revenue. So what did they do? They asked Tim Burton to step down as director. So in other words, they fired him. Michael Keaton, he was supposed to prize his role in Batman Forever, but he was not a fan of the script, so he quit. In came Val Kilmer for Batman Forever. The movie, I thought it was alright for what it was. And it was a success at the box office. It made $300 million, more than Batman Returns. So Warner Brothers thought this movie works. Let's do another Batman movie. And what they did was they fast-tracked it. Instead of having the Batman movie being released in '98, they released it in 1997. Val Kilmer was supposed to reprise his role, but he couldn't due to scheduling conflicts with the Saint, so he had to drop out. So in comes George Clooney. So you got another production issue with this film. Since Batman Forever did so well, they thought the elements that made the movie great would be elements that the fans would enjoy in this one. And sadly, this is not the case at all. The elements that they're talking about Batman Forever are actually the elements that I didn't really like. And we'll get into that in this one. Now, Tim Burton is not a part of this film. He was a part of Batman Forever. He co-produced it. So there's still some Burton elements in that one. But not in this one. Now, Batman Robin, a lot of critics bash this movie. They bash Joel Schumacher. I don't blame him. I'm not going to crap on him. I think he tried his best with these two movies. They just didn't work out in his favor. I blame the studio interference. Alright, Batman Robin, it sucks, I'll say that, but I don't think it's all that bad. There are some redeeming qualities, and we'll go over those qualities. Number one, George Clooney. I think he's fine as Batman. Not perfect, not great, but I think he's alright for what it was. Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy. Best part of the movie. Like the way she looks, the way she talks, the way she moves, the way she acts. She's perfect. I'm in love. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze. I like him as Mr. Freeze. His costume is a little bit weird, but I think he did his best. I like Schwarzenegger. The storyline revolving around Alfred Pennyworth I thought was alright. In this movie, you can tell that something wrong is Alfred. He's sick. He's dying. And you feel concerned. And this is a catalyst for Batman and Robin to team up together or fix their growing pains. So that's pretty much the positives. I like Uma Thurman. I like Schwarzenegger. I like Clooney. Michael Goff as Alfred. So I like that stuff. Then we get to the stuff that I really don't like. One, the humor is way too cringe. It is. It is. Like the one-liner jokes, the stuff they have the cast do, it just doesn't land. Number two, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. So the plot of this movie is you have Bane, Mr. Freeze, and Poison Ivy. They all come to town. And so Batman, he has to team up with Robin, but also Batgirl. And you didn't really need all those people in this movie. Batgirl could not care. First of all, they changed her identity. In the comics, she's Barbara Gordon, but here she's Barbara Wilson, the niece of Alfred Pennyworth. Not much background information, they just shoehorn her in there as Batgirl. Now, I know Alfred has a daughter named Julia Pennyworth. They could have used her. Nope, they decided to use Barbara Gordon, but change her name to Barbara Wilson or whatever. I didn't really care for that. Bane, worthless in the movie. All what they needed to do to take him out was unplug the tubes in the back of his head. He was bleeding out green blood at the end of the movie. He was kind of worthless. He was also cringe too. The humor is cringe, like I said. There's this guy named Jason Woodrow. He's the guy that created Bane. And the stuff they said was just cringe. The minions, or the street thugs in this movie, they're also cringe. Now, I've had an issue with that since Batman 1989. Every time Batman went up against a street thug, they were just cringe and camp. But this one, it was way more apparent. So I didn't like that. Even though I like Poison Ivy, she also didn't really do anything as well. Same thing as Freeze. Batman, Robin, Batgirl, they took all three of these guys up very easily. Right? Right? So we went over the plot. Other negatives that I have. Other negatives. Let's see. The stuff they had the cast do was something I didn't like. They had George Clooney's Batman's fine, but on his costume they had him wear like bat nipples, stuff like that. Ugh. Or he has a Batman credit card in his pocket, bat themed skateboards. That stuff is kind of cringe. Like I said, the dialogue's cringe. The stuff that Chris O'Donnell says in this movie just annoyed me. My God. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze. Like, he said, like, these one-liners that they were just cringe. Like, in the movie he says, revenge is a dish served cold. Or when he broke into Wayne Enterprises, pulling a freeze gun at people, he was like, everybody just chill. I was like, I could do without that. The cast, like I said, I don't have a problem with the cast. It's the way they say things and the way they do things that I really hate about this movie. I'll give this movie a 5 out of 10. I think it sucks. Not all bad. But it's just a sad departure of where we were. Again, the positives. The cast, I think, is alright. But the humor's bad. Batgirl couldn't care for. Bane couldn't care for. Even the ending of the movie is bad. It is, because Mr. Freeze, Bane, and Poison Ivy, they don't really stand a chance against Batman, Robin, and Batgirl, they get taken out quickly. Freeze all it takes is a punch to the face to take him out. Every time Batman stops Freeze, it's always a punch to the face. Poison Ivy outsmarted by Batgirl. If all people take out Poison Ivy, it's Batgirl. And Bane, all you have to do is unplug the tubes in the back of his head. And this guy's a big, strong guy. They take him out like that. Ugh. Oh boy. This movie, it sucks. 5 out of 10. You know, I get they want to do a little bit more lighthearted approach, but this movie's just way too camp. Now, the 1960s Batman was camp too, but that was designed for a younger audience. This Batman movie, it was designed to sell Happy Meal toys from McDonald's. Now, how did this movie turn out? It released in theaters. The critics hated it. It made somewhat of a success at a box office, but not what Warner Brothers had expected. They ran to a sequel to this movie called Batman Unchained, but they pulled the plug on it and they rebooted to Batman Begins starring Christian Bale. And that movie we will be reviewing next. And it took 8 years for that movie to get released. So Batman Robin, I don't think it really needed to happen. You know, but I'll give it a 5 out of 10. There's some elements in the movie I like, but then there's other elements that I really hate. You know, the dialogue, the humor, the jokes, the lighting, you know, the costumes, just, you know, I feel like Schumacher. He just went full Schumacher here. You know, he tried to do stuff that would entertain people, but it just didn't land. So Batman Robin, there's my review on it. 5 out of 10. Disappointing end to the 1980s Batman franchise, but we got the Flash coming out next year. Maybe the Batman franchise can receive some vindication. It's been another Batman movie review. So I will see you guys later.